Fireball Mass Druid is making a comeback in Legends League. The Rage Gem with the Druid is an insane combination and you can crush any base style with it. Have a look at the army comp Krispy's coming in with here. We have 14 Druids and it's going to take down max Th16 bases rather easily. So he puts down the Barb first. He's looking for any Teslas, skeleton traps in the area. Then the Warden with the 2 invis spells with this army that you're going to use to direct the Fireball. Now, Krispy does have a max Fireball, but don't worry, if you have a level 20 to 26 Fireball, you can bring 2 Earthquake, just drop the second freeze spell in this army. Now, with the Fireball in this army, you're just going for a funnel. Your heroes are going to take down the core of the base, so you don't need to do those crazy fireballs where you put down 8 invis spells to get it to the core. Your heroes are going to take down the core just fine. Because look at this, we're going straight into a rage tower, but that doesn't matter. Look, are any of our troops taking damage? Nope. Nope, the king's finally losing a little bit of health. It only took, you know, a bunch of rage defenses. Now, the rage scatters are a problem. You can see the druids got transformed into bears really early because of the splash, the scatter splash damage that's done. So that is something worth noting. But look at this. The queen is still full health and we've gone straight through a rage tower section of the base. And that is the power of this army that no other army in the game has. Yes, we don't have a lot of troops in this army that can deal damage, but the base can't deal any damage to our troops. You'll also notice he brings Root Riders in his siege barracks. So the Root Riders are really handy on the back end of the base for going through walls. And because of that, we don't really have an issue with walls. We use the jump spell on the first half of the base, Root Riders on the back end, and the Royal Champions coming in. With the Royal Champions still running the Hog Bucket and the Haste Vial. With ground armies, this is still the go-to hero equipment. I mean, look at it. Wrecked. So wrecked. This is a common base that got wrecked in 2 minutes as well. This army can sometimes get close on time, but not for Krispy here. He demolished this in 2 minutes time. For those of you wondering who Krispy is, he is a new addition to the Blueprint team as a base builder and a coach. There is actually a giveaway being run on Twitter at the moment. Hopefully it's still running by the time this video goes live, so make sure you go and follow both our Twitter on Blueprint COC and Krispy's Twitter. You can see both of them there. The links to the post will be in the description below. But yeah, new pro that's joining the team, and I'm loving his attacks so far. Right here, you'll see exactly why you have to put a barb down first. So he's looking for his fireball location, and look at this. Everyone is trying to bait fireballs, but it is so easy to counter. Just bring a barb in your army and scope out your fireball point before you invest the warden. So he puts the warden down here. Now there is obviously a Tesla there, but because the warden walks aren't that long, the druids are not going to turn into bears and pull the warden before you do your fireball. So we get rid of the Tesla there. Now we're going to put down the 2 invis spells, 1, 2, get to that archer tower, fireball down, and look at that. Perfect value. Now, is it insane value? No, but we don't need insane value. The heroes can deal with the core of the base. We've set a perfect funnel because the biggest way to fail this attack is if your king and queen do not go in a reliable path through the core of the base. That is exactly why the siege barracks is must have with this army. Even if you can get insane flame flinger value, you need the siege barracks to redirect your heroes inside the base. Because if your king and queen don't go inside the base, well, you don't really have much of a chance, do you? So we take down the town hall, and this is why this replay was insane for me. Krispy's going straight through the town hall here. It seems preposterous. It seems preposterous, but we're going to go straight through the town hall. That's the thing we always teach you with, whether it's Root Rider spam, Super Witches, never go straight through the town hall. Well, turns out if you're bringing 14 druids, you can. Now he messes up. He put the druids down a little too late, so the king does go down. Now in terms of the king equipment, Krispy has said this is his favorite combination. I did ask him if the earthquake boots would make sense, because if you use the earthquake boots at the start of the attack, then you could use the jump spell on the back end. But he says he's got the Root Riders in the CC if he desperately needs it, and the Spiky Ball's OP, and you need the king to tank in this army. It's not like the Super Witch army where the big boys and the Super Witches can tank. You need the king to tank in this army. You've got the druids to keep him alive, so not using the gauntlet is not really viable, and obviously the Spiky Ball is insane, particularly when it's max, taking out so many defenses. And look at this. Not even close. Not even close. Went straight through the town hall like it's butter. A hot butter through knife? Yep. I think it's meant to be a hot knife through butter. Completely wrecked, swagging a rage spell as well. This army is insane, and I'm not just, you know, pulling this army out of the blue. There's a lot of people using this army in Legends League at the moment. I'm getting hit by it nearly as much as I'm getting hit by Root Riders. Have a look at this super toxic anti-2-star base Gaku has, and it's going to be taken down. That dangerous core is going to be taken down with only heroes with the healing power of the Druids. Now, I really want to focus on this Warden Walk here, because notice Krispy only uses one Druid, and when this Druid becomes a bear, the Warden is not pulled by one bear. I'm pretty sure the Warden gets pulled by 2 bears, but does not get pulled by one. So really smart from Krispy here. Now, you'll notice in this army comp, Krispy is bringing super barbs. Now, if you can only get one super troop, obviously, in terms of DE, then obviously the super wall break is better. But you'll see the value in the super barb here, because he's going to use it to remove defenses to ensure the fireball gets further in the base. So the first Druid ends, and we now put 2 Druids down. So we need to get the fireball done before these Druids turn to bears. It isn't going ideally, but thankfully the super barbs clear out the Teslas on the right hand side, so we can invis both sides. The fireball goes in. We did use a freeze spell as well on the ricochet cannon, and look at that. Not an ideal start, but showing a few maneuvers you can do. A, using one Druid, 2, using the super barbs, and then the freeze spell if it necessary, to make sure that your entry is as clean as possible. Now, we haven't talked about this, but Krispy is often using Druids on the Peckers, because we want these Peckers to set a mega funnel. I also want you to look at this, so I'm going to pause it right here. He hasn't deployed his king yet, because if he deployed his king earlier, then the king's going to go for a lap of the base, and we cannot have that. We need the king taking for the queen. So we wait until we wall break right open into the core of the base, and the king has nowhere to go but inside. Then we deploy the king. We cannot risk him going on the outside of the base. So beautifully done from Krispy there. We didn't need the tanking earlier anyway, and now, I mean, look at this rage tower. Look at how many defenses it's covering. But we're still going to be able to push through, you know it, because Druids are insane. So we've got another couple of Druids coming in. Unfortunately, they're following the bear. Hopefully the bear will get in front. Now, it was funny, when the Druids first came out, a lot of people said the bear was useless, and it got a lot of hate. But when you've got 14 Druids, and therefore up to 14 bears in the attack, they're quite useful, honestly. They are very, very useful. Yet again, using the Royal Champion on the top side with the Peckers, with the Root Riders from the CC. They're all going through the back end of the base together, and there's nothing that can really be done. Actually, one of the Root Riders cut across the middle of the base and helped the Queen take down the back end. By the way, if you saw that there, the Queen is running the Frozen Arrow and the Magic Mirror. You don't really need the Invis Vial when you've got unlimited. Like, there's no need for your Queen to be invisible for that long, because the Druids are going to keep her alive anyway. So we want the Mirror Clone, and obviously we want the Frozen Arrow for the DPS and the slowdown. When I saw that Krispy had an attack on this base, I was a little annoyed, but I knew I had to show the replay. So Fireball comes in there, gets rid of the Ricochet Cannon and the Scanner Shot. So pretty good value, but a good funnel nonetheless. Because the reason I was annoyed, as you see, the Tesla popped a little bit too late there for the Defender. I copied this base, like manually copied it. I couldn't find the base link for it only a couple of hours ago, because this is sort of the new meta style base you're seeing. Now, I did make a bunch of edits to it, as you should be doing every time you copy a base, just so that your base isn't exactly the same. Now, this is what I'm going to call the new meta style bases you're seeing to counter Fireball. For instance, that Fireball, I mean, it got okay value, but it didn't get elite value. And there's a bunch of single Infernos, and you can't reach them from each other's compartments. So this is kind of the anti-Fireball Super Witch / Hero Dive meta that we're going into here. And I think this style of base will be more common, so that's why I decided to show it in the video here. Unfortunately, I'm going to be outing a base I'm likely going to be running in a couple of days, but I want you guys to see kind of where the meta is heading as well. Look at these Root Riders from the Siege Barracks, just opening up so many walls for us. Thankfully, the Siege Barracks, it doesn't have the longest lifetime ever, which works in your favor here, because we want those Root Riders in the attack opening up all the walls for us, so that we can use our jump spell as late as possible. Now, unfortunately, they do open walls on the outside of the base, and yeah, you need to keep your heroes inside the base. That spiky ball got negative value, if that's even possible, but the King with the Gauntlet goes straight to the Town Hall, and you know he's taking that Town Hall down. I don't even think he has a Druid on him. He's just unkillable when he's in that Gauntlet mode. Royal Champion is on the right hand side, which is, I understand why I did that, especially if time's an issue, but generally you want to use your Royal Champion with your main push to push your heroes further inside the base so that they don't get outside it, but also because she has some tanking. When she doesn't have tanking, those hogs can go down really quickly, and as can she and the fox, but it didn't matter here. This base, it may be new meta, but it didn't really get close to defending, so maybe I shouldn't use this base. I guess we'll find out in a few days, but defending's really hard, particularly when the attacker is coming in with the Rage Gem, with the Mass Druids. That combination is unstoppable, and I don't know what you're meant to do to defend in High Legends League or Wars at the moment. We've done a few Mass Druid armies on the channel. They were from a few months ago, but I'll link one of them on the left here. Definitely want to give it a watch. I believe I used 20 Druids and was still able to crush some bases.